out that some rogue, either at Abu Ghraib or the rogue that just is cutting off the fingers. I mean, these used to horrify. When people found out about the Phoenix program in Vietnam, which was like Apocalypse Now, it was like that movie, people were horrified. But now they shrug. They find out they're cutting people's bodies up and raping young girls, and people are like, oh, that's just the way war is. And yet, you know, they're getting into their car is so much more dangerous than terrorism. Well, this is George Orwell. These are not what I tell people is it's not your mind. This is not rational, because facts would matter to your mind. Okay, if you tell people that terrorism is going up after 9/11 and the war in Iraq and whatever, and if you tell a normal, rational person, we must be doing something wrong because terrorism has skyrocketed from what it was before 9/11. If you tell them that, the normal person's like, I guess we better change. If it's going up, we must be doing something. But you know what? Doesn't work that way, because this is heart. This is heart over mind. And people can't think straight. Five main things that propagandists do in pressing the buttons on you to get you to do what they want you to do is these 5 things. Emotional buttons are fear, hate, greed, false pride, and blind loyalty. And you know, some people point, I have them in that order. I think fear is more important, but some people, Andrew Bacevich, he's a former West Point as well. He's written several books about American exceptionalism and hubris. And Andrew Bacevich points to that last one, which is this pride, this false pride, which is very, very powerful. This is the waving the flags. By the way, that's why I have the flag lapel for my billionaire get up. So that's going back. They press those buttons. Secrecy is actually the problem. If everybody here can promise me that our 2-hour drive up here is worthwhile, please send a letter to your newspapers. You can tie it right into the national news going on right now with Assange asking for asylum, because you don't hear this said much. By the way, I got NPR coming up. They emailed me yesterday, so I might get on NPR if they don't Google me and then say she's too politically incorrect and then cancel me out. But I'm supposed to be on NPR. I wrote an op-ed with the head of the FAA's Red Team before 9/11. And this Federal Aviation Administration, smart, we're actually sending out a team to find out where airport security flaws were before 9/11. And they found they could smuggle in bombs and guns and everything into airports. One of the worst airports they found was Boston's Logan. And this co-author of mine, his name was Bogdan Djokovic. His brother was, I know him pretty well now, his brother was a Vietnam vet. And he couldn't get anyone to listen to him about, this is all before 9/11. He went to everybody. He went to John Kerry. He went, of course, his own FAA took him off the Red Team. That was their answer. He's being too noisy about airport security, and so they stopped the Red Team. But he actually ended up going to the Inspector General, and of course, then he has to watch 9/11 out of the same airport that he knew this was terrible in. So he and I co-wrote this article, and the title, if you want to Google this one, it's very, very critical. It's 9/11 and WikiLeaks, what if? WikiLeaks and 9/11, what if? There is no doubt in my mind that if WikiLeaks had existed before 9/11, we would not have suffered this attack. There is no doubt about it. What 9/11 was caused or enabled by, largely, the main reason, was a lack of sharing of information. And it was not only between agencies. The CIA didn't even tell the FBI 2 of the hijackers had come into California. They've been tracking those on their terrorist list for 2 years. They monitored the Al-Qaeda meeting in Kuala Lumpur. They knew they came into the U.S. and they never told the FBI. Now there's all memos. 2 days ago, a glut of memos was released that the CIA has withheld until now. And they're all about warnings that summer. The number of, and the lies that occurred after 9/11, Condi, no one would have known a plane would fly into a building. Complete and utter lie. And actually, that's kind of what prompted me to kind of tell my little bit of truth about what I knew. Now, it's not just the sharing of information between agencies, it was the sharing of information with the public. Who has stopped the recent terrorist attacks of Abdul Muttalib, the underwear bomber, the Times Square car that was loaded with bombs? Who stopped those? People. Who caught the Rassam, who was coming in at the Millennium, a low-level customs inspector. And why? Because information was shared, not only between agencies, but with the public. Secrecy enables wrongdoing. I worked for 24 years in the FBI, and these criminals had to operate in secrecy. If Petters had told his investors what he was doing with their money, if the investors had known, do you think that little Ponzi scheme would have gone on? Do you think the mafia could do anything in New York City if it wasn't due to secrecy and omerta? And yet, we believe secrecy protects us now? It's just the opposite. So, I'm going to cease and desist. I know my billionaire is going to come up and grab me. I just have to say, there's a bumper sticker. I had made t-shirts today. If you want one, contact me afterwards. I have a great bumper sticker that I transferred onto a t-shirt, and it says, Jesus loves WikiLeaks. Mark 4:22. Now, who knows what Mark 4:22 says in the Bible? It says it in a longer way. It says, everything secret will be disclosed, and everything hidden will be made known to you.
From the club.
That's what Jesus said. And when I said this at a fundamentalist gathering, they said, that's not what it means.
Candy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. Okay, we're going to all have a little break for a few minutes. And then we're going to come back with another speaker. I understand Ann Frisch is here and she's going to be speaking. So we're looking forward to that. Everybody just relax. Maybe have a little more lunch if you still have an inch left in your stomachs. And we'll be back shortly.
Is it still filming? Perfect.
Yeah, it's all covered.
How do I stop it?
Is this for everyone?
No, I brought it for kids.
No, is this
What's going on here today?